Alastair Brownlee leftward a nice job in a banking for a carrier speaking on his favourite soccer clubhouse, Middlesbrough. He was the vote of the borough for more than rather than 30 year, befriending the large and nice of the nice play, as so as championing his lot maligned hometown, and break many decades of chairs. There is his lifetime said via 5 items. Ollie Brownlee's desire for his favourite borough done him a enormous hit in Comrade fans and at Low 1 England officer for his 33-year commentating on Middlesbrough matches. He was the storyteller for, today, the largest specific moments in the clubhouse's story, says ex-Borough gamer and officer and England lug Gareth Southgate. He found the balance sheet of critique and supporting, overall display his loving for the soccer clubhouse. Previous in his career, a reporter sacked Ollie as just a fan in a mic, his abusive gun can be seen over. He wore how as a sign of honor, says Gordon Coxon, his top boyfriend and a fellow for lot year, addition, it was a meaningless workout to fake he was whatever some rather than a big borough blower. He was the tsar of fan commentators, on to ex-Middlesbrough striker John Hendry, time Gary Gill, L's former player who Ollie recruited as a summariser, says, Ollie had the expertise too much, he knew more than on the clubhouse rather than nobody else. After how time of year he began commentating on household games as so, juggle the in a complete time job at Barclays banking. But the prospect to hold cover his crew was cost the pay cut off. For a marital man in 2 youthful daughters, outgoing the safety of the banking for the ambiguity of season job was a hazard. I said him he had to go for it, says his woman Wendy, whom he had marital in 1987. He was fair so lucky to be down there and had the childish pleasure for soccer that the fans share and favor it, she says. He encapsulated the feeling of the time. Love the Parmo depicted over, Ollie was a pride food of Middlesbrough. He convicted an yearly Parmo contest in his hometown and his friends mark every anniversary date of his die by consuming one in his ram. But Ollie detained a black open secret. He didn't in fact love Parmas, Wendy says. He lot privileged his minnow and chip Fridays. And though he disliked his city's sign meal, he favored the location. He never requested to dwell everywhere else, says his dad Malcolm. And down there had been opportunities to go. While HFM purchased the comment rights for Manchester Joint, plant bosses requested Ollie to be the vote of the Red Devils. He courteously rejected. Gordon says Ollie recognized Teesside had its flaws but he saw so lot to commemorate. He was the region's defend and protector, his top boyfriend says. He believed in it. Ollie was unborn on April 14, 1959 in Bylands Road in Middlesbrough, during shouting range of Borough's ex-household, Ayrsham Garden. The at first kid of Malcolm and Mavis, Ollie was a talker of the commencement. I ever say he was inoculated in a phonograph pin, laughs Malcolm. He left Ward High School at 16 to job for Barclays, growing to be a little loans officer. A boyfriend of Shakespeare, he enjoyed amateurish hysterics and had a distinguishing vogue feeling in his colorful coats, berets and braces. It was in Middlesbrough how he met Wendy, the couple dancing along at Madison's nightclub. He was high and thin in blonde kinky wool and dark blue eyes, she says. It was ever his winner dark blue eyes how got myself. Ollie took her for drives in the nation, Wendy creature amazed in his capacity to knob his dad's red Talbot. His at first loving had been naughty, a set of the books was all he packed for one infancy try to keep household. Later at 8 he was entered to his regional soccer clubhouse. Of the time Ollie donned his at first scarlet and white shawl and his dad raised him above the tourniquet in Ayrsham Garden, he was bent. I recall him expressive me his daddy's introduced to the crew creature, you see how lot downward down their child, they'll ever let you downward, recalls Gareth Southgate. All of us could refer to how. Every 1 week, a youthful Ollie stood pierced in the hall gate late, especially undertaken in Borough's protector turned striker John Higton. Alastair would not keep before the recent gamer had leftward the tilt, says Malcolm. Though while Boro were 3-0 downward and fans were filing of, he would remain precisely wherever he was. He ever believed they could rotate it about. Arlie's junior sibling Jennifer remembers a household travel to Norfolk creature aborted by an improvisation trip to London while a 12-year-old Ollie found out Boro were game Western Ham how overnight. He as well leftward the household feast previous, received the boat train household one to get to the Saturday play. Ollie as well enjoyed possessing a boot about by himself, though it was not ever the dribble how he walloped. He was an pet, laughs Ronnie, who play near Ollie for FC Acklam. His styling was simulated on Stuart Boehme, the hard-tackling skipper of Nest Charlton's promote-winning party of 1974. Alastair was the obscene centre-half about, his dad chuckles. Gordon agrees, it was nearly a instance of if he got the dribble it was random. Ollie based the Younger Reds, a youthful fan clubhouse for his favourite Boro. Wendy became more aware of her statute as a soccer widowed, but down there was no spot complaining. We knew he was lively on matchstick days, says his senior child Alison, yet he done the period we consumable in him so specific so we never thick felt love we skipped whatever. Ollie skipped Alison's childbirth in February 1985 since he was cover Boro's 1-0 household destruction to Notts-shire. He done up for it by representing his new child in a Younger Red sign. He was fair so type, lavish and fond. Listeners to his lunch shot, that begun in May 2011, would as well include been so learned in Benjamin the Hound, whose conduct can be seen over. Ollie had not requested a hound, but the time Wendy and junior child Emily, unborn in 1990, driven household a slight dark Labrador Retriever pup, he was amazed. He fair told, "Hi Benjamin my infant," recalls Emily. Ollie consumable how at first overnight bent up near Benjamin's cell, incapable to manage in the puppy's whine at creature leftward one. They consumable their afternoons walk the mountain range of Teesside, finished every 1 week in a minnow and chip communion in Saltburn. Ben got more than shavings rather than nobody else, Emily says. How's why he was lightly greater rather than he should include bin. He was a large household person, but not precisely pragmatic. He utilized to urge me to go and changing a lighting lamp, says Malcolm. Wendy one day found a printing of Pelé on the side wherever she had requested Ollie to location a image of Whitby. Investigations show the Brazilian striker was cover the speckled walls wherever Ollie had poorly taken to hover the picture of the harbour city. His kitchen was not lot superior. He one day blown a can of beans while he put it immediately in a pot of simmering water supply. While Italian striker Fabrizio Ravanelli signed for Middlesbrough, Ollie solved to consider his household by kitchen them paste. He fair prepared several dry paste and a jar of dressing, but he looked so pride of by himself, Alison laughs. This paste was fate difficult. We had to eat it although as he looked so happy. He as well had a squirm ass on to Jennifer, that declared lot trimming of furnishings. Down there isn't a armchair in the building that hasn't been glued behind along, says Wendy. Alison recalls her dad setting his leg via her marriage gown as they arriving at the chapel. He was so awkward but fair ever seemed completely forgetful to the destroying he inflicted. Ollie dead on Valentine's Day 2016 enclosed by his favorite ones, 3 months following creature undiagnosed in intestine carcinoma. His burial driven his hometown to a stopping, so wishers pad the gateway as his motorcade gone his favorite haunts. Several 5,000 fans congregated in the Shore Arena to clap as Ollie was managed on the tilt-up creature, undertaken for a individual burial. Benjamin sat in the front-line chair of the occupant car and pew of the chapel, his eyes flat on Arlie's tomb, onto Ronnie. It was just following he dead how I implemented how lot he had made for other, Wendy says. Ollie grown cash and knowledge for multiple appeals consisting Zoe's location, family in requirement, engine neuron illness, kind of sports ease and the Middlesbrough hospice care. He would never say no to nobody, says Jennifer. And the fundraiser continues. A 5 kilometers run has been staged in his Ram every year with his die, fit for the man who finished the at first large polar work. And his speech dwell on too much, his largest renowned quotation possessing been colored on a side on the attitude to the shore. The vote of the borough will not be neglected, says Gordon. This planet is a lot quieter location out of him.